Well, today was a very productive day, and I'm very happy that I got some productiveness done because I was a little worried that I was going to sleep in too long, so I made sure to have a wake-up call so that I wouldn't sleep in too long because I really didn't want to wake up at like 11. So, yeah, I am very thankful. Successful morning again. I'm pretty much well back into my routine now. And yeah, every day my legs get stronger, which is good. At first they were hurting when I went downstairs and up in the morning, but now they're getting used to it. My knee hurts a little bit, but I can handle it. And I just love the smell of cinnamon French toast throughout the house. It just smells so good in here, like cinnamon buns almost. I love it. Anyway, it's time for my nap. I'll see y'all when I wake up. And the first thing I did when I woke up was make lunch. Made sure that it was ready and waiting, and then I did the dishes. The boys ate their lunch right away and then brought me their dishes so I could just wash their lunch dishes as well. I was very happy with that. Very, very happy. This phone of mine sometimes glitches. All right, I waited all day so that we could do this. All day. All right, we're going to go through the next chapter now, okay? I wrote a corresponding blog to it, but we will go through this. Boys, can one of you turn on the reading light because it's getting dark in here?
The reading light?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Reactions define you. A wise woman does not dream of what could have been. She does not see herself as God's gift to men. Therefore, she is joyful and content in her present circumstances. By the time you married, you already held certain basic convictions. You knew right from wrong. You did what you thought was right, and no one could persuade you differently. But now you find yourself and your convictions challenged by someone who may not share your established standards and worldview. He may be more liberal than you, more permissive, or he may be stricter and more legalistic. The presence of children further complicates the situation. You want desperately to do what is right for them, but you have submitted yourself under the authority of another. Life is not going the way you had planned, and you can't act or react the way you had wanted to. You find yourself pushed to the limits of your patience, and then you react in unsubmissive and selfish anger. Reactions are not premeditated actions springing from our best motives, carefully thought out, planned, and weighed. They are emotional responses breaking loose like wild horses when we feel hurt, cheated, used, or misunderstood. They are often retaliatory, sometimes condemning, confrontational, or adversarial, and eventually vengeful and punishing. Your reactions break you loose from your social inhibitions and manifest who you really are inside and what you really believe at your core level. We lose our carefully preserved front when we are pressed beyond calculated thinking. Then who we really are is made manifest. You can control your future reactions considerably by changing the way you think before you are pressed into a response. You can control your future reactions considerably by changing the way you think before you are pressed into a response. The way you think every day determines the way you feel, and it will determine how you will react in stressful situations. Researchers have determined that the average person thinks over 40,000 thoughts each day. The heart is filled with thoughts, and it is out of that reservoir of thoughts that the mouth speaks words of praise or bitterness. When the pressure is on and the dam of reservation breaks loose, you cannot control what you say because you will speak from the abundance of your heart, from the 40,000 thoughts you had that day. And all the days before, a good man out of the good treasure of his heart bringeth forth that which is good. And an evil man out of the evil treasure of his heart bringeth forth that which is evil. For of the abundance of the heart his mouth speaketh. Luke 6:45. If you, as a wife, are going to change the way you have been speaking, it is not a matter of willpower, it is a matter of thought power. For as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. Proverbs 23:7. You must bring into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ. 2 Corinthians 10:5. For out of the heart proceed evil thoughts. Matthew 15:19. As Paul says, let this mind be in you, which was also in Christ Jesus. Philippians 2:5. You will be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Romans 12:2. Not by the strength of your will to hold your tongue. God tells you how to think about your role as wife and helpmeet. If you believe him, you will think differently. If you were in an airport baggage pickup area waiting for if I were in the airport baggage pickup area waiting for my red suitcase and I saw a young man snatch it and run, I would be very upset until I learned that my husband sent him to get it for me. When my thinking changed, my feelings changed. The lady married to the accountant turned dairy man was sitting at home angry because her husband was late. When he finally arrived, he went directly to the barn to take care of his cows. She couldn't hold her tongue. She couldn't help the way she felt because she had spent the entire day, no, the entire week, month, year, last 3 years, thinking how miserable she was for the circumstances her husband had brought upon her. She felt it was her red suitcase that was stolen. She felt it was her red suitcase that was stolen. He has no right, she thought. Over and over again. This is not what we agreed to when we got married, she repeated to herself many times a day. He should come in and eat the supper that is already cold from waiting, not go out and milk those cows, she repeated to herself during the last 3 hours when it was obvious that he was late. She was storing up in her heart an abundance of selfish thoughts. Her actions and reactions became enslaved to her misguided thoughts. What could she do to change her thoughts? She could learn something she does not know, not just because this book's advice, but from God's book, the Bible. She was not created to choose her husband's vocation, nor to choose his or her lifestyle. She was created by God to be her husband's helper. In her case, that meant becoming a country girl, a dairyman's helper. She doesn't have to like cows, but she was created to help the man who does like cows. Think how different it would be if, when he were 3 hours late, she thought about how blessed she was to have a good man coming home to her at 7 p.m. with a paycheck, and to have love, security, a father for her children, a warm bed all night, and the promise of a bright future with more cows, better milking equipment, and hopefully a rise in milk prices. How thrilling life would be. How exciting and new every day would be. An adventure out in the country, not stagnating like the rest of the old fogies in town. Many a woman is sitting alone at 7 in the evening, afraid that her ex-husband might try to break in again, and she's wondering where she and the kids are going to move to next month when they are evicted from their duplex. She and many others would love to be in this lady's kitchen waiting peacefully for her grassroots husband to come in late for supper, only to go out and tend to his cows. When he did finally come through the door, his dinner would be warm and the smiles and hugs would be warmer, plus with the promises of an even warmer bed. You are what you think, and God tells you how to think. Think the truth. This is not the power of positive thinking. This is the power of the truth as God defines it. You are created to be your husband's helper, not his conscience, not his vocation director, and certainly not his critic. When you develop an adversarial relationship with your husband, you do so on the premise that you are right and he is wrong. You are also assuming that you have the duty to resist, confront, and challenge him. In thinking he is wrong and you are right, you declare yourself wiser than he, more spiritual, more discerning, more sacrificial, etc. All this adds up to the obvious conclusion that you have assumed the role of leadership, teacher, and judge. This is sinful and odious, and it displeases God greatly. No woman will ever have peace and joy until her mind is filled with goodwill towards her husband, and she is committed to becoming a good helpmeet for him. Is much of your life a reaction to real or perceived wrongs? Are you truly as wise as you think? Take the wisdom test below. This is the wisdom test. 1. Do you have enough fear of God to not question his word? 2. Do you sometimes feel God is punishing you by telling you to obey your husband? 3. Would you give God excuses like my husband is mean or I have a strong personality and he is weak? 4. How would you respond if God gave you directions on how to talk, when not to talk, or how to dress and even wear your hair? 5. Are you comfortable with dismissing the Bible's role for women by saying we live in a different culture? 6. When God says to reverence, meaning stand in awe of your husband, do you think that is demanding too much? 7. Will you say if God says it, or even suggests it, then that is what I will do? If you can say, not my will, but thine be done, then you can know that your prayer is based on the fear of God. It is the beginning of wisdom. Ask God to give you the beginning of wisdom by asking him to teach you to fear him. Now, homework. All right, homework. Time to consider. We have learned that our created nature is to be a helpmeet to our husbands. We have learned that a helpmeet is someone who helps her husband in any and all of his life's projects. We have learned that the joy of the Lord is our strength and that a merry heart is a real asset in becoming a godly helpmeet. A smile keeps our man looking our way. Our desire is to become a jolly playmate to our husband and to be an heir with him of the grace of life. All of us have decided that we do not want to grow old and become crazy old religious fanatics who think that they are obeying God while disregarding his written word. We have learned that the fear of God is the beginning of wisdom, and we shudder to think we might have ended up being like some of the old reprobates we know who dishonor their husbands. We have learned that wisdom is a gift that God promises to anyone who asks. Through wisdom, we have discovered that each of our husbands are made in the image of God, either as a command man, a visionary man, a steady man, or some mixture of the three, with one dominant. We know that it is our job as helpmeet to always be looking for ways to better meet our husband's needs and desires. Traits of a good helpmeet. She asks God for wisdom. She learns to understand and appreciate her man for who he is. She learns to be flexible. Getting serious with God. Now that you have thought more about your role as a helpmeet, it is time to go back and add to the list of things you could be doing that will free your husband to be the man God created him to be. All right, ladies. What do I mean by this? And what did Debbie mean by this? It's simple. You serve. Everything is so simple. The Bible's simple. Life is simple. And this is what I meant, that there's like no worrying anymore for me. It's just a simple life now. All I have to worry about is keeping the house tidy, making sure that there's food made, cleaning and cleaning as I go, making sure that we have enough food that lasts us to the next paycheck, making sure the house runs smoothly, and making sure the kids are homeschooled and are alive. Make sure that everything is constantly running smoothly. All I want him to worry about is going to work and coming home. That's it. So I literally take care of everything else so that he can only worry about work. And if you love your husband, you would do that for him too. Another thing is doing things the way he wants them to be done. Preferences. We've been over this. You have to ask him how he likes everything. You have to be very specific. Men don't just read minds. They don't understand. You have to be very direct with them. They don't know that innuendo thing, okay? They don't know coded language or anything like that, okay? If you ask him, what's your preference on how I run things around here? He's not going to understand. You have to talk to him in terms of, okay, let's go through how you like your meals. Let's go through how you like your coffee. Let's go through how you like me to dress, how you like me to tidy. What do you want me to do when you get home? Do you want me to stay out of your way? Make sure the kids stay out of your way? Do you want time alone? What would you like to do? You have to be very specific with your man, okay? Very, very specific. Once you know him and how he likes things, then it's easier. It's much, much easier. Then you know that he's a simple person. He doesn't ask too much. He doesn't expect too much. At least mine doesn't. Mine's a steady man, so he doesn't require too much. He is very happy when I make him a meal. Very happy. And he's even happier if it's waiting for him. It's the simple things for him. But yeah, you have to get to know your man and what he likes, his preferences. In my blog, I go through a lot of detail, so maybe you guys should read my blog, the new one from today. It's How to Honor Your Husband Part 2, and it has examples, okay? What else? Oh, I also go over the fact that what Debbie was talking about in Created to Be His Helpmeet, how we're not supposed to be his director or judge, or basically I went into another thing where women like to micromanage and control, right? They like to micromanage everything their husband does and try. A lot of women like to micromanage and control their man and their husbands. And I go into great detail of why you shouldn't do that. Because you nagging at him, you constantly bickering with him, you constantly yelling at him and emasculating him and, undermining his authority or trying to usurp authority over him is going to make him turn away from you, okay? He is going to want to nest with someone else who will give him the authority he desires, and you will lose your husband, okay? So if you want your marriage to succeed, I would suggest you stop doing all of those things that you were doing, nagging, complaining, constantly micromanaging and insulting, emasculating, controlling, manipulating. Stop all of it. Submit and humble yourself and learn how to listen. Learn how to be quiet. Learn how to be a gentle spirit. Learn. It is a skill that is able to be learned, okay? It takes practice, but it can be done. And it starts with you and the way you think, just like Debbie was saying. That's why I said we have to change the way we think about everything, because we women were programmed to be feminists. We women were programmed to be boss babes. We women were programmed to one-up the man. You know what I mean? We grew up with this in TV shows, music videos, movies, everywhere. Everywhere. We were literally programmed that way. So now it's time to deprogram and reprogram with God's ways. And it takes time. I'm still learning. I still got a long ways to go. I ain't perfect. That's why I do these women's studies, and I constantly reaffirm and reestablish and deprogram constantly. It's a cycle of constant renewal, because if you don't, you will fall victim again to your Jezebel ways, your feminist ways, and you will be upset with yourself when your husband isn't happy. So you want to make sure. Happy spouse, happy house. And I'd get rid of the others. Happy wife, happy life. No. Happy spouse, happy house. Okay? That's the proper way of saying it. Okay? Enough with the other crap. Now, the other thing is, if you want your relationship and marriage to work, let him lead. And help. That's it. It's not hard, y'all. Make him a sandwich to go to work with. Make him breakfast to eat in the morning. If you know your husband doesn't make his own food, make it for him. He will eat. Okay? Get his things together, because sometimes my husband, he forgets his stuff. He's running around in the morning looking for things that were already on the counter. That's why I put everything together. Everything is together. And understand that each of you have a role. He is the head and you are the heart. So you have to take your role as the heart and nurture, support, and submit to the authority of the brain, the head. Okay? He is the authority. He is the head. He is the king of the house. Okay? And allow him to have that. Please. And if he wants a beer at the end of the day, let him have a beer at the end of the day. If he wants to play video games in his spare time, let him play video games in his spare time. If he wants to hang out with his guy friends, let him hang out with his guy friends. Don't discourage him from doing the things that he likes to do to unwind. Because a healthy husband is a healthy heart. And a healthy heart is a long life. And you want your husband to live longer than you. Okay? That is the goal. Okay? He must live longer than you. That's my goal. Now, I have a post I'm going to post with all of this stuff in it. Okay? With graphics. So don't be a negative Nancy, okay? Be a wonderful Sarah, okay? Submissive Sarah. That's my goal. And love him, support him, be his helper. Let him lead. And that's all I got to say about this topic for today. Tomorrow we will go into depth with more thoughts, how we can change our thinking. And I'll give examples and I'll have some really, really good stuff lined up, okay? One of the things that we women have to learn how to do is forgive and hold no grudge. And that is a huge one that we're going to go over for 2 days because it's a huge one. Forgive and hold no grudge. Okay? That is the biggest thing that us women have that we hold on to as manipulative. Okay? That's our manipulative tool to get our husbands to do whatever we want. Well, you know, you used to do this, or you said this one time and blah, 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 made me feel like this. We need to stop doing that. Cut it out. Burn all lists. Burn them. Tomorrow we will go over how to forgive and hold no grudge. Okay? So, I hope this was helpful. And I hope you enjoyed it because I had a very good day with thinking about it and planning it and writing it and reading it. It was fun. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope that you enjoy the posts that I'm about to post because they go hand in hand with my blog and this video. I'll see you guys when it's almost time for me to go to bed because right now it's my dinner time. So later for now. Well, y'all, it's that time of evening again. Yep. We're going to say goodnight because I need to go to bed early. For one, I really don't want to be going to bed too late and then waking up too late because I stayed up late and I slept in. Today I was up pretty good because I got a wake-up call. Tomorrow I might need another wake-up call. But I was hoping that you guys have listened to what I had posted earlier in my videos and read the blog post that I posted. The link is in my bio. If you click, there's 3 different websites, but I named one How to Honor Your Husband, so you knew which one to go to. So, I mean, it's right there. And then just read the blog because it gives you examples. And read the posts I posted because it gives you some insights. And, yeah. And tomorrow we will talk about forgiveness and not holding grudges. So that should be lots of fun and very interesting. I'm kind of excited. I know I didn't do my wake up morning chat with y'all today. I'm very sorry. Hopefully tomorrow I wake up and get to do that. Tonight, because I already read the chapter for this week, I'm going to read The Excellent Wife so I can catch up on some of that. And yeah, I'm just hoping that y'all are enjoying these posts and things that I'm doing. Let me know. And tomorrow I will be posting scriptures for not holding a grudge and having forgiveness in your heart. The Bible talks a lot about forgiveness. And if you can forgive, then the Father will forgive you. That's what Jesus was preaching. And also, somewhere in Corinthians, I believe it's Corinthians 13 or 14. Love is patient, love is kind, love holds no grudges. So we will be posting, I will be posting about that tomorrow. I meant me. Sorry, y'all. I have tired brain. Don't mind me. All right, I'm gonna go and read, and then I shall see you guys in the morning, because it'll be quite early when I come back. 4:45. So I'll see you then. I hope y'all have a good evening, and I'll catch you tomorrow morning. Good night. God bless.